President Biden wants $33 billion more for Ukraine. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer wants to significantly increase your taxes in order to save the country. And Vladimir Putin tells countries it's time to back off before I take drastic measures. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now. You watch this channel each day because I keep you in the loop on what's really going on in Washington, D.C. with President Biden and the U.S. economy. So let's jump right in. I want to thank today's video sponsor, American Home Shield, and I'll tell you more about how to save money with them later in today's video. President Biden is seeking $33 billion in additional funding for Ukraine. The Biden administration is saying that this funding is fundamental to protecting Ukraine from complete invasion over the next 5 months. So $33 billion for the next 5 months. Biden stated that the cost of this fight, it's not cheap, but caving to aggression is going to be more costly if we allow it to happen. Ukraine, on the other hand, has requested $2 billion in additional funding, a number that is far lower than what Biden is going after. So it begs the question, why is Biden wanting $33 billion of American taxpayer money for a country that's only asking for $2 billion? Not even 10% of what he's trying to raise. I mean, it's super suspicious, right? And I'm reading and I'm seeing a lot of things that I can't share with you here on YouTube because they'll shut down my channel. But I can tell you this, we're not being told the full truth about what's going on. Amid Ukraine's request for aid, Putin stands in their way. Yesterday, the Russian president issued another warning where he said that any country creating strategic threats for Russia will be dealt with at the speed of lightning. He went on to state that he will use weapons that other countries only brag about as he threatens the United States and other Western nations. These weapons are speculated to be either missiles or nuclear weapons. But I believe, based on him saying at the speed of lightning, that he's probably referring to the Russian hypersonic missile, which can travel at around 3,000 miles per hour. Russia is already starting to wage war by cutting out natural resources for 2 NATO nations. Western countries have been bracing for this to happen, but it's finally here. The first countries hit are Bulgaria and Poland. They're cutting off their gas supply. Other countries are starting to brace for impact as it doesn't appear that Russia's threats are just threats. They are now following through with their word. This could end up triggering an end to the war, though, if they cut off too many people. That cuts off all of the money that all these countries are funding by buying oil and gas from Russia. Now, I have a lot more to tell you about the news, what's going on in the economy and with President Biden. But first, let me take a minute to tell you about today's video sponsor. I want to thank today's video sponsor, American Home Shield, and I want to tell you how they could save you money while giving you peace of mind. No one likes to think about household items breaking down, but they do, and it's more often than you would guess. That's why it pays to have a plan from American Home Shield to help cover the cost to repair or replace your heating system, AC unit, or refrigerator. American Home Shield knows that no 2 homes are alike, so they have new options to find just the right plan for you. In fact, their plans help protect parts for up to 23 essential home systems and appliances, and it's all laid out in writing beforehand so you know what's covered. Now, here's something really unique about American Home Shield. Coverage is available no matter how old your system or your appliances are. So keep your home up and running and your budget on track with American Home Shield. Right now, viewers can take $50 off their most comprehensive plans ever. Click the link below or go to ahs.com/Stephen now to save $50. That's ahs.com/Stephen for $50 off any plan. Service fees, limitations, and exclusions apply. See plans for details. This is a group I've personally used on my own real estate, and they've been helping people for 50 years now. All right, now let's get back to today's news update. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said he knows how to deal with inflation. He said the only way to undo this is to undo the Trump tax cuts and to raise taxes on the American people. Now, the Trump tax cuts mostly went to the middle class and lower income families, despite what the press tells you. It's been proven, it's a fact. They saved the average family around $6,000 a year. And now Chuck Schumer says we've got to remove these generous tax cuts and we have to raise taxes on the American people in order to save our country. Now, I thought they promised to not raise taxes by 1 penny on anyone making under $400,000 a year. But if they do this, it is a bald-faced lie. And you will see thousands of dollars in increases in order to save the country. Now, I want to know, do you want to see your taxes go up? Now, I'll admit, I know that's a dumb question, but it's an honest question. And I don't care whether you like Donald Trump or hate the guy's guts. This isn't about Trump. This is about our own government that gives billions and billions and billions of dollars away to everybody but you, now saying that in order to get through these really difficult times, they need more of your money. That they've got to get rid of those tax cuts. That they've got to increase your taxes in order to save the nation. I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the comments what you think. But I'm going to perfectly quote Chuck Schumer so that none of you think I'm making this up. These are the words from his own mouth. Our meetings were both preliminary and good, and we're going to continue to keep talking. If you want to get rid of inflation, the only way to do it is to undo a lot of the Trump tax cuts and raise rates. So, he wants to see taxes go up. He wants to see interest rates go up, and he wants to get rid of those tax write-offs and those tax advantages that you've been benefited from over the last few years. Now, today, President Biden spent time talking about a contracting U.S. economy. Analysts show the U.S. economy has shrunk by 1.4% in just the first quarter. Biden said this contraction is a blip and to pay no attention to it. He said he has rebuilt the strongest economy ever and that the economy is resilient. Biden said none of the analysts that he's meeting with are predicting a recession until after the election. So to be happy that it won't happen until 2023. Oh man, I'm so glad it's not going to happen until 2023. Won't it be nice that it will happen just after the election, right? Biden also said most of this mess, you need to remember, is because of Vladimir Putin anyway. He also blamed Republicans for creating a tax code that doesn't work for everyone. Inflation is at 8.5% and unemployment is at around 3.6%. So Americans have jobs. They just can't afford to buy much, right? The United States might recommend everyone get a 4th, 5th, or even 6th booster shot. But not for the reasons you'd guess. The U.S. government is sitting on 150 million vials of vaccines. And so with people not getting their follow-up shots, they're saying, hey, we don't want all of this money to go to waste. We got to get these shots into people's arms, into kids' arms, into newborn babies' arms. So they're now doing this not because of science, but because they got 150 million vials that they need to do something with. Maybe donate it to Ukraine or some other country, right? A new poll showed 66% of Americans believe that the United States is more divided today than it was 1 year ago from today. That's not good. We shouldn't be divided. We should be taking care of each other, right? Former President Donald Trump clearly still holds a big grudge with Mitch McConnell. In a new interview, he stated that if it wasn't for him, he would still be in the White House. McConnell previously stated that Trump is practically and morally responsible for the events that transpired on January 6th. But he didn't impeach him, and he didn't try to overturn the election. With that being said, McConnell also stated that he would support Trump if he runs for president in 2024. So what is this McConnell guy thinking, right? Like, he says one thing and then another and then another and then another. It's like this guy is more flip-floppy than Mitt Romney. When asked about the recent leaked tapes from Kevin McCarthy expressing disgust for President Trump, Trump denied that there was any ill feelings between the two and said that he was frustrated and that was in the past. Among those targeted by Kevin McCarthy were Matt Gaetz, Mo Brooks, Barry Moore, and Louis Gohmert. I don't really know these names. I think they're Republicans in other states, but the criticism by McCarthy was roughly this. I want to see these people kicked off Twitter, and I want to see their accounts taken down. I don't want them to be able to spread information. So now people are finding out what he really thinks about them behind closed doors, and it's causing a rift within the Republican Party. It's also causing a rift because there's differing opinions about who's to blame for the January 6th Capitol breach. Supporters of McCarthy, however, have raised $125 million to help Republicans take back Congress. Many experts believe that the Republicans have an incredible chance of taking back Congress this November, and they're planning to spend $111 million of the $125 million on ads that specifically target areas where Republicans can take back the seat from a Democrat. Regarding your ability to buy a home, with rising prices and rising interest rates, people are finding it very hard to buy a home. Since January, the 30-year mortgage rate has gone to 5.3%. This has caused new home sales to drop by over 8% in March alone. Right now, 25% of all homes being purchased are purchased by hedge funds. Some lawmakers have ruled that this should be investigated and blocked because the average American simply can't afford to outbid a billion-dollar hedge fund. So there's going to be no homes to buy if Wall Street continues to buy them up, raise rents, and make everybody poor by making your rent ridiculously expensive. Today, Biden told reporters that he is considering some form of student loan forgiveness. Biden said that the form of debt reduction he is considering won't be as large as $50,000. Schumer and Warren were crying in the corner, but he's not going that high. He said he'll try to figure out a way to give some form of student loan debt forgiveness to everybody, but it's going to take a couple of weeks to figure out what he can do. Now, we've heard this before. Almost exactly a year ago, he was waiting a couple of weeks on Miguel Cardano to get back to him. It's now been a full year, right? Reminds me of that time they said, hey, we need 15 days to shut things down. And then 2 years later, here we are, right? However, Republican Kevin McCarthy has an answer. He says forgiving student loan debt is socialism and an attempt to buy votes in the upcoming election in November. McCarthy said you can't just forgive $1.6 trillion, and you certainly can't ask the American taxpayer to fund other people's debts. McCarthy said this debt can't be forgiven. It can only be transferred, and it will be transferred to the middle class and lower income Americans in the form of higher taxes, right? I'm just telling you guys what's in the news. Whether you agree with this or not, it's what's in the news. Now, Senator Mitt Romney said Democrats are desperate to buy votes in November, so he gave them a list of other ways that they could buy votes that would probably be more popular. He said auto loan forgiveness. Why doesn't the U.S. government just buy everybody a car or pay off their existing car? How about some credit card debt forgiveness? Let's let everyone out of their debts so that nobody learns how to manage debt or their own money. He also said, what about mortgage forgiveness? Let's just give everybody a free home or pay off their house. What could possibly go wrong? Well, a lot, right? Anyway, I don't know whether they're trying to buy votes or not. I'm just telling you what are the big stories in the news today. Now, this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more with you. The month of April is almost over. Make sure to look in the video description for a link that you can go and follow. I'm giving away $100 cash gas gift cards to help 60 of you in the community with filling a tank or two of gas because of these ridiculously high gas prices. And I'm able to do that $6,000 giveaway because of generous video sponsors. So make sure to give this video a like. And I'm just so grateful for the sponsors that have helped us give away over $100,000 in cash and prizes to our YouTube community. Now, before you go, I just want to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.